Hey everyone, I'm Scott Stokely, and this video is going to be about the pros and cons of golf bags versus golf carts. Now, at the end of this video, I will give you a website where you can purchase the Scott Stokely limited edition golf cart, but do not think this is a disguised sales pitch. Before I tell you where you can buy the cart, I'm actually going to list a whole bunch of reasons why a golf cart may not be best for you, and even why, if you want to buy a golf cart, my cart might not be the best fit. But we'll get to that at the end. All right, so we'll start off talking about golf bags. The cons to a golf bag compared to a cart. The biggest one is you just can carry less stuff. Now, I don't mean you can't carry enough discs. If you have not enough room for all the discs you want to carry, you're carrying too many discs. It's not about discs, it's about all the extra things, some you use, but other ones you may or may not use. If you want to carry a rain jacket, in case it rains, you want to carry extra towels in case it rains, you want to have your disc retriever, you want to have your ibuprofen, you want to have snacks, you want to have extra minis, you want to have knee pads. Carrying those things are a hassle. And if you're carrying a bag and they're a hassle, you might look at the weather and think, oh, only 10% chance of rain, I don't want to deal with carrying an umbrella. Well, that'll work 9 times out of 10, but you're going to be stuck without an umbrella 1 time out of 10, all because you didn't want to deal with the hassle. So that's probably the biggest thing. There's limited space on the bag. But a couple other things. The second is, for the most part, I know there's exceptions, but you really can't sit on your bag, so it doesn't really act as a seat. And the third reason why why the bag may not be the best choice is you're putting strain on your shoulders. Now, you're not putting a lot of strain on your shoulders. I mean, bags aren't that heavy, especially if you're younger. If you're older, it's a whole different situation, right? But when you're younger, it's not a big deal. What I've done my entire career incorrectly is I always put the bag on my non-throwing shoulder. That's actually a terrible idea. The idea in my mind was that I didn't want to put any extra weight on my throwing shoulder. I didn't want to make it fatigued. This is a game where a couple degrees on one shot can make the difference between a win and a loss. And I was trying to protect this shoulder. The problem is when you put all your weight on one shoulder, not for weeks or months, but you do this for years or decades, you are straining one side of your body. You have muscle being used and wear and tear being put on one side. You also have muscle being used on the other side as you're balancing the weight. Now, there are obviously backpack golf bags where you put them on both shoulders. For health reasons, 100%, those are going to be a better idea. The problem with those is that in my mind, I always felt like I didn't want to put weight on this shoulder. And even if it wasn't going to harm my throw at all, I believed it was going to. And so it would have been a distraction to put weight on my shoulder just because I was afraid it would. So that's basically the drawbacks to having a golf bag. Now, the good thing about a golf bag as opposed to a cart, number one is it takes up a lot less space. Whether you're trying to fit in the trunk of a car or whether you're especially like getting on an airplane or public transportation, bags take up less room. They are also usable on any golf course. We'll get to the cons of the golf cart in a minute, but there's plenty of courses out there where a cart isn't your best option. If you're going up and down hills, especially on rocky or rough terrain in the desert, for example, you're not going to want to use a cart, period. Bags you can use anywhere. They're also more affordable. In fact, a golf bag almost isn't an expense in the sense that you have a fixed cost of playing disc golf. You have golf discs and a cart, and a bag. You're not spending extra money for this luxury item, which a cart kind of is. So there's a lot of pros to having a bag. There's certainly nothing wrong with just playing with a bag. As far as carts, I'm going to start with the cons. The first, they're more bulky. They definitely take up more room in your vehicle. You can't carry them on as carry-on luggage. There's just more there. You cannot take them on every single course like I just talked about. So you have a cart that you're going to spend this money on, you're not going to use it every time you play. It is for specific courses. Now, if you play just one course and it's a great course for a cart, not an issue. But if your home course and you don't travel much isn't set up for carts, a cart will never be a good idea for you. The other thing is carts are expensive. You know, if you're playing disc golf once a month, you don't need a cart. Like it's a luxury item that's probably going to be a waste of money for you. I think a cart is useful when you are playing all the time and you're trying to save the wear and tear on your body, and you're trying to take advantage of some of the benefits of a cart, which I'll talk about. But you know, carts cost money. And in fact, I actually at one point thought carts were incredibly overpriced. And I had this fantasy that I was gonna break into the disc golf cart market and sell high-end golf carts for $200 because there's no way they cost that much to make. When I looked into the material costs of really durable metal, really durable parts that could withstand the heavy use of a cart, but then light enough that you can, you know, pick it up to carry it over the bridge, you can load it in and out of a car easily. It turns out it costs a couple $100 just in like material cost before you've even manufactured the thing. So they're not cheap. It's an investment. Money matters. So that's pretty much the cons of the cart. The pros of the cart, number one, hands down, is you get to carry more stuff. You know, during the round, if you have to shed layers because it gets warmer, you got somewhere to put your layers. You get to carry your umbrella and your disc retriever every time. I just don't take it off. Like, I don't even have to think about it. It's not a hassle to bring it. You know, things like snacks, I like to have a power bar during tournament rounds. Well, I don't stick one power bar in my cart. I would in a bag because I don't want to carry the extra weight around. I have like 5 tournaments worth of power bars in here. I don't even have to think about it because I don't notice the extra weight. I have hand warmers that I might not use again for 5 months. I'm not even going to take them out. It's a convenient way to carry all the extra things you might need, especially the contingency plans. You have a course with a lot of water, you want to have some backup discs, perfect. Cart's a better fit for that. The cart is, you can sit on it. It's a big deal. Being able to sit down, especially as you get older, it matters. You're taking a little bit of weight off your legs, you're also taking a little bit of strain off your back. In fact, that's the other part of it, is that you're not using your upper body at all. So you're actually not even having to think about, am I straining my shoulder or am I creating non-symmetry in my workout? Not an issue with the cart. All right, so me personally, especially because I'm older, a cart is a no-brainer. I avoided them for years because I didn't want to feel like one of the old guys. It's not. And in fact, it's not just for older people. I think a cart's best for everybody. Although if you're 25 years old, you can deal with lugging a bag full of golf discs around a golf course. But as you get older, it's like, carts are great. They really are. So I am going to tell you about the Stokely GoCart. This does not mean that this is the best cart for you. This is a big, expensive purchase. So I'll tell you why I think my cart's awesome. But before you just go and buy one, go look into Zuka, go look into Ridge Roller, you know, look around, compare dimensions, how many discs they carry, what other features that they might have, cost, obviously, you know, make an informed decision. But I will tell you why I personally like this one. All right, so number one, it has a backrest. I think all the carts have some way of sitting on them or next to them, but this one you can lean back on. Now it sounds like a small thing, but we just had a 3-group backup at the challenge at Goat Hill, and it was really nice to be able to lean back. I think that extra strain off the back was a luxury. I think helps. I mentioned it was powder coated, which means it's more weather resistant. It has extra storage in the back. I keep my putters up here. Easily, comfortably fits 3 putters here. That's plenty for me. It has extra space for minis, for drive knee pads, really handy when throwing from one knee through the woods. You can also put your drive disc retriever on here. And by the way, Drive doesn't pay me any money. I'm just a fan of their stuff. That's why I use it. But shout out to Drive for making cool stuff. But one of the things I do like about this, in addition to that, is that if you need to make more room, and I do this every time I put it in the back of our truck because we have a flat top on the bed, is all you do is pop the pins out and then take the top off. And you lay it down separately. It simply makes your cart smaller. And if turning it on its side makes it still too big, you can pop the wheels off just as easy. Pop the pins out, pull the wheels off, pop the pins back in, set the wheels next to it. It's not a hassle, and by the time you've done it 3 times, it takes like 5 seconds. It's a piece of cake. I think the only thing that may be a con about this cart, and I only say this because I'm honest, is that it does not come with a place to carry discs. You have to buy a bag as well. Now I say it's only partially a con because no matter where you are, for the most part, you need to have a bag. If you're going to courses that aren't cart friendly, or if you're getting onto an airplane or traveling, I mean, you're gonna have a bag anyways. In fact, you probably had a bag before you bought the cart to begin with. So it's not really a con, but it is an expense above the cost of the cart. So I just want to be straight. The benefit is that when I get to a course that isn't cart friendly, I just slide the bag out, I put on the backpack shoulder straps, and now I have a backpack bag that I'll be using. So again, it's not an extra expense really, but cart sold separately. Guess what I'm trying to say. Other than that, I love this thing. It's lightweight, it's durable. I've been beating the crap out of it almost a year now, I guess. And having no problems. Everything works perfectly. So I'll put a link down below. There are 50 of these. And when these are gone, they are gone for this foreseeable future. It was a limited run. It was just not possible to get the materials in this weird world we're living in right now. So we could only make 50 of them. So it's a limited edition Stokely GoCart. But the link down below. Thanks everyone.